Hey there, Abundant Life Church. Gabe here on Thursday afternoon, and I want to confess something to you. Uh, I have been stressed, and I don't like to admit that. I'm someone who prefers to bury my fear and pretend like everything's fine, but it's true. I've been stressed about everything that's going on. I've been stressed about the virus. I've been stressed about the potential, economic impact. I've been stressed about what this all could mean for our church. I'm stressed for how this has impacted friends and what this might mean even for my own family. On top of everything, that's going on around the world, we lost power at our house up on Banner Mountain on Sunday night. And when it was finally restored on Tuesday, our heater wouldn't kick on. And I'd love to tell you that I was a picture of peace that whole time, but that obviously would not be true. I was stressed. And really, when I think about it, my mind hasn't stopped racing for more than a week, and I can already feel in my body that's starting to take a toll. Now, I don't share this so that you'll feel sorry for me. I really don't. Because here's the thing, is I know we are all navigating these uncertain times together. Every single one of you has a story to share as well. And so I share this really to serve as a springboard to offer some encouraging words that are as much for me as they are for anyone. There's a myth that I think I've bought into on some level, saying that Christians shouldn't be afraid. And while I absolutely believe that God's in control and God remains on his throne no matter how scary things might get, I think it would be emotionally dishonest for us to pretend like we don't have fear or we never have fear. You read through the book of Psalms and you'll find that fear is a very real human emotion. And it's not one to be ashamed of. I mentioned on Sunday that Sherry and I have told our kids before that without fear, we wouldn't be able to be brave. It's what we do with our fear that's important. And I think the important thing is to learn how to bring our fears and our stress and our anxiety and our worries to God and to leave them with him. We can't do this if we're not willing to acknowledge that they exist. A few weeks ago, we studied Psalm 95, and we talked about what it looks like to seek God in a season of stress. We talked about how in times like these, we need to remember that God is great, and then we need to look to him for direction. Just like a sheep looks to his or her shepherd to guide them to safety, to guide them to food, to water, to shelter, to protection. I encourage you to go back and read Psalm 95 again. But I was thinking this morning, how can we remember the greatness of God in the midst of our stress? And I remembered something that happened yesterday. Our family was gathered around this little propane stove while we were waiting for our heater to get fixed. And all of a sudden, in the midst of everything, this wave of gratitude kind of flashed through my head. I was grateful for that little propane stove. So I told my family. In fact, actually, I told them, I said that I was so grateful that I just wanted to hug, and they all thought I was going to say hug them, and I said, I just want to hug this propane stove. They all thought it was a little weird, but I think they understood what I meant. So then we, from there, took a few minutes as a family, and we went around the room, each taking turns sharing what we are most grateful for during this strange season. And then we prayed, making sure to thank God for each of these things. It was one of those special moments that even though it didn't change any of our life circumstances, it did wonders for my attitude and my heart. And I think that's what Paul's talking about in Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 through 7, when he says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Did you notice in there that Paul doesn't tell us to ignore our anxiety? He doesn't ask us to push it deep into the depths of our soul and pretend it isn't there. He tells us to acknowledge it before God with an attitude of thankfulness that recognizes who God is. I hope each of us can find moments like this regularly during the season of crazy disruption, moments of gratitude that lead to moments of peace. I really think God has big things to teach each of us during these weeks. It's okay to be stressed. It's even okay to be afraid. But let's learn how to and practice bringing our anxiety to God and laying it down there at His feet before His throne. We're going to continue here at the church office looking for ways to connect as a church family. We need each other during these times, but even more than we need each other, we need God. So let's take some time, maybe at the dinner table tonight or at the breakfast table tomorrow, to talk about reasons that we have to be thankful. I'll see you here on Sunday on our live stream if I don't get a chance to talk to you before then. Love you all, and we will talk soon.